Hey William, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad, Jason. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Firstly, so let's jump straight in. The first question I always like to ask people is is basically how did this all start for you? Tell us your story. Tell us how this all happens.
Well, I think the main thing is certainly that my problem or my story is very similar to a lot of other people's that obviously you've done this interview with on YouTube as well, and it really is it's a strange condition, but the fact that so many people are experiencing the same sort of story. So basically, for me, it all began in March of this year. And I fell, I'm a football player, fell really badly or awkwardly during a match, and I stood back up and something wasn't right. I felt something in my pubic bone. And and I was trying to run and it was really sore. I mean, I managed to continue for another 10, 15 minutes or so, and then I had to go off. And then ever since then, I went to. It kind of got worse. I felt like it was one of those things where I thought, I'll run it off, because normally I'm like that with injuries, but in this instance, it just kind of got worse. I went to training the next week, played the next weekend, and it got to a point maybe 2 or 3 weeks later where I could not bear playing with the pain anymore. So I missed the end of the season. So that was about another month or 6 weeks or so I missed the season. And I had no idea what was wrong. I thought basically if I just iced it and applied heat compression, it would have eventually went away. I thought it would have just been inflammation of some sort, but this obviously led me to take further action. So I went to the physiotherapist of one of the football teams I was playing with at the time, and he said, to be fair, he said it was Osteitis Pubis, but the whole method around which he was, carrying out his treatments was, it wasn't working. He was hooking me up to some sort of like electrical nerve machine that was supposed to massage me or something. I just didn't feel anything. So about 4 or 5 sessions with him, and I gave up. And obviously that was money down the drain. But more importantly, it was time down the drain, and I hadn't gotten any better. So then this led me to going and. I'd obviously looked up the condition online, osteitis pubis, did a wee bit of reading about it, and I'll get to the point later, but it's totally different to the way you obviously explained it. So then, after that, I went to look for another physiotherapist, and I found one. This guy seemed to be somewhat more knowledgeable on it, but he prescribed me with some very sort of basic stretches, and while obviously you've demonstrated to me and I've carried out that stretches obviously do help out, what he was doing with me just it was not having an impact. So after about 4 or 5 sessions with him, once again money, time down the drain, and I wasn't any better. So then at this stage I was actually, to be honest, right through the whole process, and or before obviously I got a hold of you, I was really doubtful over whether or not I'd be able to actually play football again, because it's the one thing obviously for anyone that knows me, it's one of the few things that I really get satisfaction and enjoyment from. So it would be obviously massive if I was not to be able to be part of my life anymore. But this was over the course of about from March until around August time, September time. This was about 5 or 6 months or so, and I had no idea where to go next. So through social media, and these things, I tried to look for a group that kind of suffered from the same thing. So I was looking around, and on Facebook, there's a group full of interesting people who've shared their stories over their experience with the condition, and I was pointed in your direction, you know, I basically I told my story just like I am now, and I said, you know, what is the next step for me? You know, what can I do, or can I overcome this? And I was told, you know, go and look up the OP clinic. Went and looked it up. The website was down at the time, but I went on to. I didn't waste any time. I went to email you straight away about it, you know, and I was hoping you'd reply. I was like, you know, hi Jason, you know, it's Roy. I'm in a bit of a sticky situation here. Can you fix me? And you know, you sent me a number of links through, and you directed me to your YouTube channel, which actually I never bothered looking on YouTube, to be honest. But I mean, went onto YouTube, and I was in a situation where, you know, I was looking at all the sort of the stories of other people, and I'm thinking this is really similar to what I'm going through. And I came to the conclusion, and obviously you know as well, that, you know, in different places it's just such a poorly understood condition. So yeah, got a hold of you, and it's been, you know, it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of time, but ultimately, you know, I'm now actually at the point where I can go and play football. So that's all I can really ask for, to be honest. That's the story.
No, it's interesting, right? Because it always comes out to be like so similar, especially like the experience of going and seeing other therapists. And to be fair, right, like it's easy for me to look good when all I do is one condition, right? Like it's easy for me to be like, oh, he's so knowledgeable. It's like probably not knowledgeable at a whole bunch of stuff that other therapists would be way more knowledgeable at. But I guess, like, you know, when you get to like focus on one thing, you can just make yourself feel real smart with it.
Well, that's it. Yeah, definitely.
Kind of thing. Yeah, it's what is that like? That expression was like jack of all trades, master of none. I'm going for the opposite of that.
Well, I tell you what, you know, you've helped a lot of people, including myself. So there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
I hope not, but it's interesting, kind of like going through the process of like, okay, cool. It's like, okay, I go to one person, I go to another person, and trying to figure out like, okay, what's the point? What's the like the thing I always want people to ask whenever they get any treatment for any condition, whether it's physical, like, you know, whether it's for their body, internal medicine and stuff like that, is what's the point of my treatment? What's the mechanism of how it's going to work? So, you know, you have lower back pain, you have you know, you have a poor core muscles, we're going to strengthen those core muscles. That's, you know, reasonably good logic to kind of thing. And so then you start to do your rehab and you can be like, I feel my core turning on, but that makes my back feel worse. Like, you know, and you can come back and bounce back from a therapist and be like, you know, can you explain why that? And then the therapist should be like, oh, it's great you're turning your core on, but you're also doing this. Let's keep the core activation. Let's get rid of the lower back activation. Here's what you need to do. It's two parts disturbing a lot when it comes to OP, because it often gets to a point where someone needs to see multiple people over many years a lot of the time, and you are different from this, but before they start becoming very critical of the people that they're seeing. And it's not that you shouldn't trust people, which I would never preach, but it's more kind of like you should always be an interested party in what's happening kind of thing.
Yes.
And to me, like sometimes people who I've eventually treated and helped with OP had to go through a long process of seeing a lot of people to become an interested party in their health, to be like, I need to Google, I need to join a Facebook group, I need to, you know, check out YouTube, I need to do my own research, I need to email random people.
Yeah.
Like you went through that process a lot faster. And that might be a, you know, reference to your age more than anything, but it's that process of kind of going, I got to find the right person, I got to find the right information, and I've got to like apply the right logic to solving this problem, because no one's going to do it for me. Like, you know, no one's going to actually kind of go through that and kind of thing. But yeah, it's interesting because you just did that in a much smaller time frame.
Well, it felt like an eternity, I tell you that.
It's funny because there are going to be people watching this who have had OP for like a decade who are going to be like, really? So March this year, so it's 2017 now, and it's December, you know, March 2017, December now, 2017. Who would be like, really, William? Really? Like 9 months? Really?
Well, I think the thing is, you know, during like 9 months for a young person without sport or physical activity, you know, is a while. You know, not to, no disrespect, obviously, to people who have suffered for way longer than I have. You know, that's obviously far more difficult. But On a personal level, for me, 9 months was so long, and not only that, I was going to say something. You know, to be honest, it's just like you say. You know, you have to be interested in fixing it yourself. I mean, I'm quite lucky in a way. You know, I'm quite driven. I'm quite, you know, I like to keep myself fit. It's not difficult to get me motivated to keep myself in shape. You know, I don't let myself slide, and I maintain high standards. So, as far as like, you know, wanting to get this fixed, you know, that was always there. But the doubt did creep in at times. You know, am I going to get better from this? And you know, I had physiotherapists telling me, the pain's not going to go away for 2 years, and you know that's incredibly difficult to take at the age of 18 at the time. To be told that you may 2 years you could be out for, and then after that, who knows? So, you know, that was difficult. But
Oh, sorry, go on.
no. I was just saying, you know, it was difficult, but obviously, you know, hard work pays off. So,
Well, no, you make a really good point there, which is like pressure makes diamonds, right? Like for you,
yeah,
9 months felt like a really long period of time, or 3 months felt like a really long period of time. So you just kept like pushing, right, till you found a solution. Whereas if you're
yeah,
kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll rest another month. I'll rest another month. It's like time slides by. Like this is what
yeah,
happens. Like, and it's true for like everything in life, studying, relationships, stuff like that. If there's no
of
sense
course,
of urgency or pressure, you don't achieve anything. So no, like I think it's a good thing. Like people may watch it and be like, 3 months may have felt like 10 years for you, and that meant you had to do something. You
oh
lit
yeah,
that
yeah,
fire and had that urgency.
yeah, yeah.
So tell me, you jumped into the program, you started kind of doing the stuff and the exercises, especially like the information kind of thing. Like, how did you find the information, and how did you find like all the informational videos that weren't about exercises per se? How did you find handling them, just the information overload and all of that? How was that for you?
Well, I tell you what, Jason. You know, I'm a university student right now, and I take three modules, three subjects, and your course made it feel like I was taking a fourth module. Nah, nah, nah. I mean, it's that's a good reflection for anyone watching on sort of the idea. It gives people an idea of obviously, you know, the sort of, you know, amount of information to take on board. But I think initially, you know, I, I, I was watching a lot of the videos and I was struggling to get my head around some of the concepts. I'm thinking, you know, oh, why do I have to do this? How do I do that when I'm running and playing football? Like, but you know, you begin to put the pieces together, and you know, the information. You know, make no mistake, it's all of it is relevant to where you want to get, or all of it is important to where you want to get to. So as far as the information goes, you know, there's a lot to take on board, but you know, you've the people obviously who are interested in, you know, getting better from OP have got to realise that it's a commitment, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's the nature of the injury, obvious, or the over. I don't even know how you describe the movement disorder. You know,
It's a good word.
there's a lot of things you've got to, you know, and that's the main point you make as well at the start, is that you've got to think like a mechanic, and you know, you can't think like a mechanic without being given any information as to, you know, how to do so. So that's as far as, I mean, in terms of information, it's obviously it's all relevant and all needed. So
Yeah, it's interesting, kind of like it's funny if you like say like if you put, let's say like a shoulder creak, like your shoulder just hurt one day, you sat at the computer too much at one end, and then you
mm,
want to like, I would put like lower back pain here, and then I would put OP, like chronic lower back pain, like like severe, you're talking about getting surgery lower back pain, and I would put
yeah,
OP like just there, just ahead of it, in terms of
yeah,
like, surgeons are getting involved, people want to do things to your pelvis and drill into it and release things and stuff like that. It's
mm,
like it's you're not dealing with like a little thing. You're dealing with like a massive undertaking. It's like it's what makes me drawn to it, because it's like, oh, this isn't just a little thing that anyone else can do. Like you have to like study so much to understand this condition, and that's what drew me to it more than anything.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like that kind of thing. It's like all these pieces of information that don't necessarily make sense that you then have to still hold on to, and then they start to all come together at the like through the whole process. But yeah, it's funny how it's kind of like this. If people could see that spectrum, I feel like, and be like, oh wow, yeah, I'm not dealing with like the process of doing this is like overcoming an addiction. Like you don't get a gold medal for it. No one really cares.
yeah,
Like it's your body. No one's gonna be like, well done, William, you fixed OP. But you kind of went through
yeah,
a marathon and like got better from it. It's for you, but it's still like it's not
yeah.
something that everyone else can do. Like it's something that's kind of hard and takes a lot of work.
Of course.
All right, so all the exercises and all the crazy crap we did. What was your favorite?
Uh, Good question. When did it get fun? It was tough right the way through, but I have to say, like probably when the ball slams came in, they were they obviously like some of the exercises are more enjoyable than others, and I felt like when I was doing them in the gym, the time kind of flew by, and I felt like they were the ones where you know everything started to come together. The ideas, in terms of like the movements involved in the ball slams, that's sort of like right, okay, everything adds up, and this is like, what I mean. Obviously, like it's kind of like near the like it's not at the start of the program, so it's like right, this is like a product of all the information you've given me. So, probably yeah, I'd say the ball slams. Really good.
Yeah, ball slams are very kind of close to my heart as well because it's like to me it's like the bow. It's like
Yeah,
here's your oblique activation. Here's your foot. Here's your foot connection to the ground on the rotation. Here's your glute
yeah,
activation as you do the slam. It's like every single thing you've done. If there's a flaw in some of it, at some
yeah,
point it'll come out in the ball slam. Like you can't
yeah,
hide from it. If you want to do it perfectly, everything before it has to be perfect and good. Otherwise, you'll see it coming out. And it's like, if you've been diligent and you've put the time in, you haven't developed any weaknesses at the beginning, then you see really, good ball slams. And it's easy
yeah,
to correct the technique. And if you haven't, and you've been making mistakes through there that haven't been, then they've come out in ball slams and they just become harder. So yeah, they're dear to my heart because it's like there's no hiding. You can't cheat your way through the ball slam. It's just you do it well or you don't kind of thing.
of course, yeah. That's the way I felt as well. I mean, they were, obviously like we did them at the start with pillows, and I was thinking, oh, this is piss easy. What's this all about, Jason? I mean, Jason, you're normally giving me harder exercises here, but obviously, when you go and up the ante a wee bit, put a wee bit of weight on, suddenly there's an expectation there, Um, so, that's an important thing to make sure, all cylinders are firing. You've got like all everything nailed down. Your oblique activation, etc. Everything we've learned goes into the ball slam. So, I think my ball slams are all right actually, and obviously, I still do them, and you just have to like make sure you remember everything. So.
What did you think of the workout challenges?
Wow, they were tough but fair. Probably the way I describe it. Like, I was admittedly I was better at some challenges than others. Like, I could do like the long distance running return, like no bother, that's fine. And there was, can't remember which challenge it was. Not what was it? One of them was like you had to complete within like 16 minutes. That was fine, but when it came to like getting the ball slams in, the ball slam challenge, I was, I mean, I could, within 20 minutes, I could nearly complete it, but no, that was always a struggle for me. To be fair, I like, I, I don't know, it was tough though, but yeah, the challenges, they're hard, but they serve a purpose, is the main thing. So, obviously, for people who have been through the course, for the program, and people who are thinking of it, put yourself under no illusion here. It's not all fun and games. It's you've got to put the work in. So
One time I asked someone just like in a session, I was like, Oh, what did you think of the challenge? And like literally like within a second, their reaction was "fuck you, Jason." It's
Well,
just like,
I mean, the thing is, you're obviously you're having a seat there during the sessions, and you're just asking, the person on the other side, with a little grin on your face. So, William, how was the challenge? And you're just having a wee laugh to yourself there. I'm thinking, oh, I've just endured 2 weeks of, you know, hard work getting up early. But no, the fact is, you feel good after doing them. Not only physically but mentally, you feel like, wow, I've done something today. I've done something really good, and I just have to keep on following through with that. And it really helps out with the mindset. So. They're good.
so keeping that in mind, like, what is it that you think was about your mindset? Like, how did you go about, I guess, tackling everything from getting your head around this condition to like getting through all the exercises and doing the work? Like, what were kind of some of the secrets that allowed you to kind of get through this and kind of overcome like such a difficult condition?
I think while I believe ultimately, if you want to, get anything done, it boils down to the individual. But I feel, especially in this case, that time is needed. So it would be, if you're obviously thinking of taking on the program, obviously for me, I couldn't recommend it enough. But be aware that you will have to make time to take all the information on board, and also time to do all the exercises, because there were days where obviously I was going to the gym twice a day, or doing the exercises twice a day. I'd maybe throw a run in there, but also during that day, or that little amount of time, I'd have to watch a couple of videos just to familiarise myself with what was coming next. So time is, the more time you have, theoretically, the easier it should be to fit everything in. But I think certainly, if you really want to overcome the condition, this will be a real test of that. Can you do everything that Jason asks of you? Can you keep up with the content? Can you keep uploading videos? Because it is a commitment. But the fact is, if you do everything, then the results will come. And I certainly feel like from when we started, maybe like early September or late August, that sort of time, I was in a state where I didn't know where to go next. But now I'm a lot more clear, and I feel a lot better. And I've even played a football match as well, and been training and things like that. So yeah, definitely, the determination and desire to do it, but time is needed. That's for sure. So that's what I'd say.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so last question. If you like try and take people through your headspace, like when you got to go play again, like what was it like to like, or even to like go back and start running again, and to start like to do a ball slam challenge and push your body, like just take people through like the exercises of the stick, take people through the carrot, like just for a little bit.
Right. So when you started, prescribing me the really high intensity exercises, that's where I long for my body to be, basically, to be able to sustain that. And that's doing those high intensity exercises and running is somewhere I've not been in the last at the time 8 months or so. I forgot what it was like to push my body, because I've basically been an old man, and it's not, trust me, it's not fun at the age of 18, 19, sitting around and waiting for the next thing to happen. Why do I have this condition? Everything like that. So it's important, obviously, to remember, like, I forgot what doing those exercises was like. But as soon as you were saying, get back into running, get back into the you've got some ball slams to do, and you've got the challenges, and Oh, this is great. You know, this is where I want to be. I've not. It's just real. You know, I've not ran in so long, and then when it came to playing the game and everything again, you know, it was just great. Well, initially, obviously, I went to training first, and you know, I was thinking, oh, I've not been here in so long, and you know, just like the fact my body was able to hold up or you know deal with it as well. But yeah, the feeling of just returning after such a long layoff and obviously being doubtful of whether I'd ever be involved again it was a feeling like no other. But the hard work continues, so that's the take home. So.
How did it feel kicking that goal?
I didn't expect it, to be honest. I was just kind of what happened. I came on for the last 20 minutes, and the team was already winning, but we really needed like an insurance goal to make sure we were going to win the game, and I just got played through. I just ran and just kind of I just saw the goal and I just thought, nah, I'm just gonna, you know, I've been out for too long. I'm just gonna hammer it, you know. So, and then that was it. And you know, it was really that I didn't, you know, that feeling of scoring a goal again. I forgot what that felt like, and I did not think, you know, or in the worst of times, you know, I was thinking, you know, if I can ever experience that again, and you know, very very grateful and thankful to be able to, you know. I mean, fine, you know, it's trivial to some, but for me personally, it's, you know, it was a good milestone, and you know, I'm able to now look back and think, you know, I had OP, so and now I'm over it, so I have to keep it up. So
No, it's awesome, man. Thank you so much for doing this. And for anyone watching this, hopefully you can take something away from it. But yeah, man, well done getting over OP. It's certainly not a good time. But yeah, thank you so much for doing this.
no, not at all, anytime.